Amazing. We are live. I'm gonna wait as usual. Few seconds, let people trickle in. And in the meantime, as you're coming in, please say hello, introduce yourself in the chat, tell us where you're tuning in from. Be sure to switch the message to all attendees so that everyone can see your messages. And we'll just wait 15-ish, 20 seconds, let everyone trickle in, get settled in, and we'll get started with our very exciting event for today. Hello from Miami. Bet you the weather there is good now.
Hi, James from London. Amsterdam. Oh, I miss Amsterdam. Milan, but that's another place that definitely miss.
Amazing.
Lisbon, I've never been there. Need to find an excuse.
Amazing. We have more than 100 people already in, so we shall get started. And as people come in, they can just kind of join in. So hello, Finimizers, and welcome to another Finimize live event. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Reda. I'm an analyst here at Finimize, and I'll be hosting today's event on how AI is changing the investing world with our partner, Streetbeat. So before we get started, just some quick housekeeping rules. First of all, you're going to see a poll pop up in front of your screen. Just give a quick vote, and we'll dive into the results in a bit. Second of all, like I said, as you come in, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Let's be social. Tell us where you're tuning in from. And as I said, please remember to switch the message to all attendees, not just panelists. That way everyone can see your messages. Third of all, the format of today's webinar is we're going to have a 15-minute discussion with our guest, followed by a 15-minute Q&A, which takes me to my fourth and final point. Please use the Q&A box down below in Zoom to ask your questions for our guest. And also, if you see a question that you like, be sure to upvote it. That way we can go through the most upvoted questions first, and it'll be a better use of everyone's time, essentially. So without further ado, please let's kick off. Our event partner for today is Streetbeat, an AI investment platform that serves as your personalized investment advisor. So Streetbeat's interface allows you to ask questions and tap into hundreds of data sources in an easy conversational way, just like chatting with your financial advisor. And whether you want to create your own customized portfolio or explore popular curated portfolios, Streetbeat caters to your own unique investment needs. Now, today we're very fortunate to have with us Damián Scavo. He holds 20 patents and has led 3 successful company exits, which is quite amazing. And as CEO of Streetbeat, Damián is dedicated to empowering retail and professional investors with AI technology, underscoring his commitment to innovation and leadership in the financial sector. All sounds absolutely amazing. Damián, how are you doing today?
Hi, everybody. I'm very well, calling you from Palo Alto today. The weather is nice. I don't know the weather over there, but I'm very glad that we are all here today to talk about the present and the future of AI in finance.
Yes, maybe with a lot of emphasis on the future, which is very exciting, as I can probably imagine. So let's kind of kick in. I have so many questions for you, Damián. But first of all, maybe kind of setting the scene, perhaps you can walk us through some of the ways AI is being integrated into the investment process and what sort of improvements and changes it is bringing about.
Yeah, sure. So AI has been used by hedge funds and other investment firms for a long time. This technology, however, was extremely expensive and not available to retail investor or professional investor. Only 0.something% of the hedge funds were able to use it and deploy it. And instead today, thanks to the latest technological advancement, we are able to actually access this type of technology also in retail products. And it's fascinating. At the beginning, I would show you just one screen just to give you an idea. At the beginning, the use of AI was first reserved to sentiment analysis. For example, inside Streetbeat, you can have news that are summary of market news related to your portfolio. We call it portfolio pulse. We get news from all over the world, not only news, we get a lot of data, for example, option imbalance or earning calls or analyst rating change. And an AI can summarize all these based on what you have on your own portfolio. Let's open, for example, a portfolio that I have. This one track all the transaction made by the US Congress personnel. And at the bottom, I can see all the news related to this specific with a sentiment analysis of each specific news. This was the original, one of the first way in which AI was used. Right now, instead, it's possible, thanks to LLMs, it's possible actually to talk to it and use it to have more influence and more data. You can literally talk using ChatGPT kind of style and ask questions to it. You can ask to create a portfolio based on elements, like, for example, I want to invest in AI, or I want to invest in companies that have a good price to earning ratio, or you can have a very long request and it will be able to process it. Here I have some example in which I asked to compare, to create a table, a comparison between NVIDIA and AMD based on the latest data, because of course this AI is connected to real-time market data. I asked it to create a sustainable generative portfolio. He created it for me. He calculated the back testing. This is all stuff that usually was reserved to customer with more than $10 million AUM. So if I was a Citibank customer, I will have access with more than $10 million AUM. I will have access to a team of data scientists, and I will ask this type of question. I want to create a portfolio that invests in sustainability or generative AI, and they will do it for me. Of course, paying about $50,000, or in any case, substantial amount of money. Instead, here you can have access to it basically for pennies or few dollars per month, and it's something that never happened before. So these are the three ways in which today is possible already to use AI. So again, sentiment analysis on data, big summary of data. So an AI that summarizes all the data, an AI that speaks with you and do what you ask. Of course, we're still early times, so sometimes it does error or it doesn't understand what you ask, but most of the time it will do it, and it will do it in minutes. So something that before was expensive and taking like 2 weeks, it can be made in minutes. And then after you created even your own portfolio, this data can be used to manage the portfolio. And you can ask an AI to suggest you rebalancing based on your investment goals, the portfolio goals, and the latest event in the market. So when you are inside a portfolio like this one, let's see this one, for example, you can then see all the recent rebalance made by the smart pilot. Okay, the smart pilot is active by AI and managed by AI, and it's actually based on the data rebalance, in this case weekly, but you can choose wherever you want, okay, to do the rebalance. This is just to give an intro of the past and the present of what the AI can do already today. Few people know this, so I'm glad that we are starting to share this information with more people. And in Streetbeat, it's already possible to do all this, and you can experiment, and you can do prompts, and you can see how it works. Mm-hmm.
Super cool. And I mean, speed seems like a big advantage, right, in terms of analyzing a lot of data. Just wondering, are there any other specific advantages you can highlight in terms of using AI in investing that cannot be easily replicated by humans or traditional investment models?
Oh, yeah. So manual trading and versus data-driven AI and algorithmic trading all combined has a lot of limitation. First of all, you need to be there to take action. Instead, with an AI that analyzes all the data based on your goals and suggest the rebalancing, you can even let the AI do the rebalancing for you, already save me tons of time. So I tell through the prompt what's the goal of my portfolio, what's the area on which we want to invest, and then it will execute it for me. So I don't need to be on the screen all the time. The second thing is it uses modern portfolio theory. So a person that doesn't even know what is Sharpe ratio or volatility is actually taking advantage of all the knowledge in the matter without even the need for it. So when the AI create a portfolio, already look for use the portfolio theories to for that specific portfolio based on the risk profile and the goal of the user. So it will optimize for volatility, less possible when it select the asset classes and other criteria that you probably requested. For example, I like later on, I saw a user requested strategy that can take advantage of the Taylor Swift economics. Okay, I saw another user requesting to invest in biotech, and I create portfolios with stock that I don't even know that they exist. Okay, or ETFs that I didn't know they exist. I saw a lot of people asking the AI to create a portfolio that invest in the digital currency economy. And it went and it find mining companies that I didn't even know that they were publicly traded. And so not only I saved incredible amount of research time because it already know all the data that has been provided to it, but it also applied to that data knowledge, the financial knowledge that the majority of the people, 98% of the population doesn't have. And I don't need to have that knowledge because already the AI have it. I need to have a goal and execute upon those.
Very, very fascinating. And maybe you kind of touched on this, but just sort of to make it really clear, does AI, in your opinion, level the playing field between small and large investors? You know, historically, the big investors, you mentioned hedge funds, had the resources, right, to invest in this technology and use this technology. But now it's kind of opening up to the masses. So does AI sort of level the playing field between the small and big guys, or does it kind of widen the gap, in your opinion?
Great question. Yeah. So big hedge funds like Citadel invest about $1 billion per year in AI data and analyst and technology related to investing. That's a big gap between Citadel and a person that is trading manually on a more or less free manual trading platform. And AI is actually closing the gap. I mean, with products like Streetbeat that apply data, algorithmic trading, and AI, you are able to go and position yourself not at the level of Citadel because they have $100 million in much more data. Okay, they can do high frequency trading that AI at this stage, unless we call algorithmic trading AI, is not able to do. Or whether you really are closing the gap with very high network individuals, very advanced financial advisor that usually are reserved or take care of customers that are multimillionaires. Okay, so definitely we are going this direction. This is just the beginning, because the other day a very wealthy customer asked the AI. He was very long on Apple, and he didn't want to sell the position, so he tasked the prompt for strategies to hold the position because he didn't want to pay the capital gain on such a big position. And the AI come up with several strategies, and one of them was to sell covered calls, for example. We don't sell covered calls directly on Streetbeat right now, but the AI in any case suggested it. And he actually went and asked his financial advisor their opinion. He had 3 very expensive financial advisors, and the 3 of them were playing golf, by the way. So they didn't talk the phone call first. But at the end, when they talked the phone call, they didn't know what he was talking about. And these were three very, very high network financial advisors. So with technology like this, you can already start to do stuff and things that were very, very advanced and available only for a very small amount of people. And you can do that just investing, I don't know, $1,000 to start.
Very interesting. And one last question for me before we move over to audience Q&A. And remember, if you haven't put your questions in the Q&A box, be sure to do that and be sure to upvote any questions that you like. So last question, Damián, just kind of making it more practical for everyone here. So for individuals looking to start integrating AI into their investment process, how should they go about doing that? What practical steps can they start doing today to integrate AI into that process?
Yeah, right now we made all our technology available to retail investors through a web app and an app that you can download in the store in about 30 countries called Streetbeat. Also, the web app is accessible almost worldwide, but we at the moment are onboarding customers in European and American country mostly. And when you onboard, you can open your account or connect some broker that's already there. And then you can start asking questions and sharing your goals with the AI, and the AI will follow you. So it will do what you ask. You can literally talk to it, or using chat, you can type and chat with it, and it will do everything that it can to fulfill your goals. The technology create a portfolio, and then you can execute the portfolio somewhere else, or you can execute the portfolio in the app. The app can do automatic trading for you. So there is auto trade possible, but it's just an option. It's up to you. You can turn it on and off. It will rebalance with the frequency that you want. I'm just answering some questions that I see in the chat. Okay. And of course, at the beginning, the AI is in this version of the AI is very conservative. So we do not recommend, the AI will not recommend a leverage product, short-term products, inverse products. So in other words, and it will not recommend, it will not execute any option or future trades for you. It will only do plain vanilla stock or ETFs, but without a leverage. This is for, it's the early days. Of course, in the future, the models will become more and more reliable to allow us to even go deeper and further on everything that you can do. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Damián. Want to move over to audience Q&A. And first question comes from Leonardo. Who is accountable for any possible mistakes or wrong calculations? How's the AI recognizing fake news, etc., etc.?
Yeah, so at the moment, let me share again this slide so it's possible to understand. At the moment, the AIs collect data from different sources. For example, macroeconomic indicators in real time, like GDP or housing, etc. It collects macroeconomics on one side. It collects a bunch of data on the other side about, as we say, analyst ratings, debts, earning calls, news, and etc. And it summarizes them and make it available for the second example of AI that you can query using a ChatGPT type of query. We use ChatGPT 4 here to talk to the people, so you can interact with it like you are using the prompt. But instead, to go to the ChatGPT engines, you are actually entering inside the Streetbeat ecosystem and all the data that is available. Of course, there can be errors. So, for example, a user asked the other day why the price of something was up and down, and he didn't know. Okay, in that case, and however, it has knowledge of all the data available, so it can answer your question about, can you tell me all the ETFs about a specific topic? Can you tell me the prices of the latest analyst rating about a specific product. Let's see, for example, in this prompt, I asked a portfolio that invests in AI, but then later on, I asked a comparison between NVIDIA and AMD. So he created the table for me with all the data, and then he did a summary of the last week of NVIDIA. Okay, this just to give you an example. And this is some stuff that we can already do. Of course, we also have data that is pre-packed. For example, as I mentioned before, you have the possibility to invest following data, for example, like what the Congress has been trading or what the senators, the House has been trading, and it will rebalance it for you. This is just some example. So it creates the answer, an answer for you, and then you can review the answer and decide if it's okay for you, if you want to know more, and if there is an error that can happen, you can actually give a feedback, and we will try to improve whatever error was present. Okay.
Amazing. Next question comes from Andrea. Does the product cover private markets, including fundraising data for startups and VC funds?
No, at the moment we are focusing only on public trade instruments. And the reason why is that, first of all, is our background, because we have been working in the space for 20 years. We knew the supply chain of this data provider. We got some fantastic deal that allow a startup to have data sets that were incredibly expensive at the beginning. And instead, because they wanted to help our mission of democratize access to data and this type of technology, we managed to get some very good data set. So this is, and we focus on public trade company because everybody can follow them. And you don't need to have special requirements for that. And so we are focusing on tradable instrument. And we actually offer free manual trading, zero commission on stocks, trading, and fractional share on all the American ecosystem. And through the American ecosystem, also some ETF for foreign markets. Amazing. Maybe in the future, or web.
Never say never. Next question comes from Wei. How different is it in the investment process if we compare AI with models or human judgment? How do we evaluate AI risk?
Oh, nice question. So the advantage of AI is that it empowers the human judgment. So we have the human judgment that is always front and central, but then now the human judgment can go and ask for things that would require a lot of time to get done. And so you are faster at analyzing and get summaries and get data and search for data. That's much faster than before. So I will keep the human judgment at center. We are also working on a product for the financial advisor, not to replace the financial advisor, but to empower him. We will show it another time, maybe, because today we have no time. But actually, we are offering even more technology that we already developed to financial advisors, because financial advisor can add an extra layer of control before delivering it to the final customer. And so if there is some financial advisor that is interested, there is a waiting list that we are starting to onboard beta tester now around the United States and Europe at the moment. We have a waiting list at the moment of several hundred financial advisors, but please join as soon as we get to the list for you. We will love to have you on board and test all the technology. I will only show you what it look like very quickly, okay? In a UI, so you have always the chat available to ask questions like the one that we did before, or you can have the portfolios that are created by the community, your portfolios, and portfolios that are actually personalized for each single customer. So you can go to a specific customer and create a portfolio for him, just chatting with the AI based on the customer goal and your recommendation. And you can ask very sophisticated things like companies with certain level of ESG score, patents, history of profitability, price to earning ratio, and so on, so on.
Amazing, thank you. Next question comes from Raj. Can this be used for day trading? If so, how effective is it?
No, it cannot be used for day trading. We specifically decided not to do so at this stage. This is designed to investment that have at least an investment horizon of 3 months up. Is optimized mostly for medium long term investments, but it can work already for 3 quarterly investing or semester investment. Day trading is tricky. Statistically speaking, only 3% of the people that do day trading are successfully, and is a subset of the population that do it. So we wanted to create a product that actually help as much people as possible, something that everybody can use. So we didn't focus on day trading. We had in the past, and occasionally we have strategies, data-driven strategy, that, for example, work around earning calls, but that's it. That's as far as data-driven strategy we go. And they have high volatility. So when we do them, we suggest only to the high-risk profile user because the volatility is very, very high.
Amazing. And then next question comes from, let me have a quick look. Sanam, I think this has already been answered, but just once again, who is accountable for any bad decisions or mistakes? Is there a fund manager representing the AI per portfolio, for example?
So the AI portfolio, when it's generated, is a balanced list of assets that is optimized against usually minimum volatility. And the portfolio is created based on the customer prompt. We create the portfolio and then we take responsibility for the rebalancing if the user wants it, of course. Otherwise, the AI will, after he generates the portfolio, he will leave it as it is until there is a rebalancing. And the algorithmic trading part of the strategy will execute the trade only when the bid-ask spread, so the price between buying and selling a stock, is very small or inexistent, like during the opening auctions. So usually the AI will set up the portfolio to be executed during an auction. All the execution part is in partnership with the APIs of our broker partners, in this case Alpaca, for the United States. And the money is in our depot bank, that is Bank of Montreal, in MBO Harris, in United States, actually, which is part of the Bank of Montreal group. And so it's quite safe. So the AI do not execute trades. That's the algorithmic trading that does it based on your decision related to the portfolio. So the AI never send orders to market. It only create the portfolio based on your query. So the AI is not involved in the trading process, it's involved in the research process. And so if you are happy with the result of the research, then you can set up the investment. It will execute it once if you want to buy and hold, or it will rebalance weekly or monthly or quarterly, up to you, annually. Sorry, based on your goals.
Amazing.
I hope that I answered. Yeah.
One final question, because we're pretty much out of time, but this could be good to make a distinction. So another question from Sanam: what are the material differences between AI and a robo-advisor?
Yeah, usually robo-advisors execute the same strategy for everybody. So they define a risk profile, aggressive, moderate, conservative. They have 3 portfolios for those, or very few, and they execute those portfolio based on an algorithm. With a virtual financial advisor, which is basically what we are talking about here, you decide about the portfolio based on what you want. You want to invest, I don't know, in biotech, you want to invest in crypto, you want to invest in finance, you want to invest in a sector that is interest for us. We had customer asking the AI to create a portfolio that work in case of alien invasion. You know, like everything that you want. Actually, the AI answered with two portfolio. Do you want the friendly aliens or the not so friendly? And so it's actually answering that case. Some user ask questions that the AI cannot answer for other reasons. But so that's the big difference. So the portfolio is customized, is created by you, for you, with the use of AI, based on your goal and your interest. In a classic Roboadvisor, instead, you give the money to the robot, and the robot do what is best for your risk profile. Here is you do what you like with your money, and the AI help you to do what you like. Okay, so it gives you the power.
Amazing.
We do our, in any case, we need the license of American Roboadvisor, so we are regulated by the Stock and Exchange Commission. Actually, we are actively participating in the relationship with them. They come to visit us and check what's the latest, and because we will need a body of regulations that will regulate AI in the future, because this is the present. We didn't yet had a chance to actually talk about all the things that will going to happen in the next 1 to 5 years, because the AI financial world is probably the world that will be most impacted by artificial general intelligence in the next 5 years, and the fastest one, because it's all data driven, and is an area where the AGI will be extremely useful for democratize access to data, technology, and results that before you really needed a very big team to achieve.
That's amazing. I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. That's been extremely insightful. Thank you so much, Damián, for all your useful insights. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and I hope this has been as enlightening and informative as it has been for me. There will be a survey that pops up at the end of your screen as you exit. Please be sure to fill that, and see you at the next event. Damián, thank you very much once again.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.